Hey, we're Paperwhite.
And we're on A-Sides with Jon Chattman. So we had been pretty much desperately looking for a band name over phone calls for weeks. We were trying to figure out.
Yeah, we would spend like an hour or two like on the phone because she was living in LA at the time.
Yeah.
Just like spitballing names forever. Then we Googled something that we both liked and it wasn't available.
Yeah.
It was like some other band, you know, from Idaho or
Yeah,
something.
we really sympathized with any bands that are trying to figure out their band name right now because it was one of the hardest parts.
Yeah, it's brutal.
So I had written a song called Paperwhite, which is after the flower, and I posted a little snippet of it on Instagram. My friend commented or messaged me saying that he loved the new band name Paperwhites, and it was a complete accident. But we were like, oh, that could actually work, and so we chopped the S off the end and kept Paperwhite.
So, I don't know how many people are familiar with this now, but Converse has this program that they're doing called Rubber Tracks, and they actually have a permanent studio set up in Brooklyn where they basically are just empowering artists to be able to record their own music. They give free studio time. And so they had this project, this global project, where they rented 12 studios all around the world and sent a ton of bands to go record for 2 days each. And so we were selected as one of those bands. So yeah, we ended up in Iceland for 2 days in September.
Yeah, at the Greenhouse Studios.
There's definitely a few people that we have seen at the last couple of shows. It's always interesting because I feel like we always have that weird feeling like an hour before the show, like, is anybody going to show up? We sort of expect that nobody knows about us still, but I feel like we're usually pleasantly surprised.
Definitely. That show in particular, there were a couple people singing along, which was, you know, such an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll continue the more we play shows.
That
night, yeah.
Somebody, I guess, you know, CMJ is a pretty crazy week, and there's lots of day events and night events. I think somebody was maybe hitting the sauce a little hard during the day that day, and it came back up on the floor right in front of the stage at pianos.
Yeah, pretty much a few minutes before we were about to start playing, so we had to hold off on playing. And
it didn't feel right to start the set with vomit on the floor.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So there are two parts to kind of where we pull our inspiration. There's the music side of it, which is kind of from all over the place. Like, we do try and listen to what's popular, but also try and listen to music from all over the world as well. And then lyrically, I tend to take inspiration from just little moments throughout the day. I always have a notebook or my notes app on my phone, and if I just hear a line from a movie or something, you know, overhear something, or just a random thought pops into my head, I always try and write it down and then go back to it later when writing songs.
Yeah, I think it's sort of more Katie's thing than mine to write the lyrics, but it seems like there's always a kernel of an idea that Katie might have, but I do feel like the rest of it falls into place kind of more based around the melody and the phonetics.
Definitely.
Like fitting the right words into the shape that we like.
Yeah, we'll have a whole melody that's just like A-A-U, and then we'll think like, what word can fit into A-A-U?
Still get the message across.
Yeah.
I don't think that we ever knew that we would have a project together. There was a long period of time after I guess I found out that Katie was writing songs, that I wanted to help her make the music, to produce it, to find musicians to be on the recordings and things like that. But that was always sort of like fulfilling what I thought was Katie's sort of dream, like aesthetic.
Yeah, because I was focusing more on singer-songwriter, playing piano and singing. Yeah, but then we actually went back to some ideas that I had in high school, which were slightly more electronic, and Ben at the time was getting more into electronic production, and we kind of mashed those ideas together, and that would be what we consider the first Paperwhite song. Was the first time we tried to go a little more electronic with my singer-songwriter songs.
Yeah, I guess that was something that just sort of happened out of the types of sounds and things that we were naturally drawn to, but certainly over the past year we've been writing a ton for this new EP, and that's been something that we've been talking about, like this idea of sort of like future tribal, where it's like it has these very like primitive drum sort of like world music sort of roots to it, but in a very futuristic sort of electronic modern way.
Yeah, and I think the out of this world maybe is like we kind of talk about space a lot, and just like these journeys that you can go on metaphorically, because I don't know, there's something really attractive about this kind of hopeful thinking, and we try to do that in a poetic way.
I don't know if we'll ever play with them or not. I don't know. I guess we just would wait
great,
to see if
we'll see.
they'll ask us. But yeah, that was just a writing session that we got set up on, that we didn't really know what we were doing. Like, we thought maybe we were just getting together to write a song and see what happens. And they had a track that they wanted top line for. And we ended up writing it in like a day, and then going home and recording it and sending it to them. And we were actually kind of worried that they didn't like it because they didn't respond. And so I sent like a follow-up email, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're releasing it like next week." Like, they're like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Yeah, it was awesome.
Glad you like it.
Yeah, we're big fans of theirs, the people in general, and the music. So we're really stoked when they said they were releasing it.
I think there's something that I feel like I've experienced a lot is like the cliche of like follow your passion and you'll never work a day in your life sort of thing. And while that can be true, I do think that maybe it's better to follow being happy, because being happy on a daily basis beats out anything that you could do with your life, I think.
Yeah, and along with that, there's a way to work really hard and have that be so satisfying that it still makes you happy. Focusing on the path towards just an overall happy life, I think, through whatever passion that is.
Careers are great, but like happiness and friends and family is a lot better, I think. Like the URL. I think we're / Paperwhite music for almost everything
except SoundCloud is just Paperwhite. But our website is paperwhitemusic.com.
Facebook,
Instagram, Spotify, you can find us.
Twitter, pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, we're all over, and we're working on becoming more social with you guys. So we're going to be sharing a lot of stuff in the new